Today we expose the 7 chocolate brands America needs to be warned about. Products pretending to be treats while pumping heavy metals and industrial chemicals into our bodies. What used to be medicine for ancient civilizations has become poison for modern America. The Mayans treated chocolate as a gift from the gods. The Aztecs used cacao beans as money, trading them like we trade dollars. When doctors first came to America from Europe, they used chocolate as medicine for stomach problems. But what sits at every checkout counter today is nothing but chemical experiments wrapped in shiny paper. Every year, Americans eat 2.8 billion pounds of chocolate. That's 11 pounds per person, including babies. We're eating more chocolate than ever, yet the quality has never been worse. Because what passes for chocolate in America wouldn't even be legal to call chocolate in Switzerland, Belgium, or Germany. Those countries have standards. We have corporations writing their own rules. The candy giants spend billions every year on advertising. They sponsor youth sports in thousands of communities. They've gotten into most American schools through fundraising programs, and it's working. The average American child eats nearly 50 pounds of sugar per year, with chocolate being the second biggest source after sodas. First one is Hershey's milk chocolate, the bar that's been ruining America's taste for real chocolate for over a century. Hershey's uses a process that creates butyric acid. That's the compound that makes vomit smell like vomit. Europeans literally can't stomach American chocolate because their standards require almost no butyric acid at all. Look at what really matters. Hershey's contains just 11% cacao, the bare minimum to legally call it chocolate in America. Belgium requires 35% minimum. Switzerland demands 30%, but Hershey's gets away with it by making their bars mostly sugar. They hide the missing cocoa with sweetness. Consumer Reports testing found Hershey's dark chocolate had dangerous levels of lead, way over California's safe limits. Their milk chocolate showed cadmium levels multiple times higher than European safety standards. These heavy metals build up in your organs. A child eating one Hershey's bar weekly takes in enough lead every year to measurably lower IQ scores. But here's the scariest part. Hershey's controls nearly half the American chocolate market. Almost half of all chocolate sold in America comes from a company that knowingly sells lead-filled products that taste like stomach acid. The company makes over 1 million pounds of chocolate daily at their Pennsylvania factory alone. They've trained 3 whole generations to think this chemical taste is normal, and it gets worse. Hershey's spent hundreds of millions on advertising last year, with most targeted at children. They know exactly what they're doing. Hook them young on the sour taste, and they'll think real chocolate tastes wrong when they finally try it. It's flavor. Programming on a massive scale. The company even changed the definition of what Americans think chocolate should taste like. Before Hershey's, American chocolate companies imported European techniques, but Milton Hershey's cheap process that created that sour taste became so dominant that now Americans expect chocolate to taste slightly spoiled. We've been programmed to prefer inferior products. Number 2, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. The billion-dollar brand that makes more money than some entire countries. Each regular package has 22 grams of sugar in just 42 grams total. That means Reese's is literally more than half pure sugar. The peanut butter filling contains barely any actual peanut protein. The rest, sugar, dextrose, salt, and tertiary butyl hydroquinone. That's a preservative made from petroleum that causes DNA damage. They use the maximum amount allowed before it becomes legally toxic. Reese's perfected their addiction formula through thousands of taste tests. They found the perfect melting time to trigger the most dopamine in your brain. The ridged edges increase surface area, making the flavor hit harder and creating what food scientists call an addiction enhancement. Sales data shows the average Reese's customer buys dozens of packages per year. That's over 1,000 grams of sugar just from one candy. The company makes hundreds of millions of pounds yearly, enough to give every American pounds of sugar paste pretending to be peanut butter cups. But here's what they don't tell you. The orange packaging color was chosen after studying shoppers' brain responses. Orange triggers impulse buying way more than other colors. The wrapper crinkle sound was engineered to create the most satisfying noise that triggers childhood memories. Even opening the package is designed to be addictive. Reese's has expanded into dozens of different products: cereal, ice cream, cookies, protein powder, coffee creamer. They're not just selling candy anymore. They're creating an entire ecosystem of sugar addiction, targeting every meal and snack opportunity. Your breakfast, dessert, and post-workout shake can all be Reese's flavored sugar bombs. Number 3, Nestle Crunch. The bar from a company with hundreds of documented human rights violations and environmental lawsuits. Every Crunch bar funds a corporation that bottles billions of liters of water yearly, while local communities go thirsty. The chocolate coating on a Crunch bar is thinner than a credit card. The crisped rice center makes up almost half the bar's size, but barely any of its weight. You're literally paying for air pockets. The actual cocoa content, a pathetic 8%. Even worse than Hershey's already terrible standard. Nestle's cocoa comes from farms using over 1 million child workers in Africa. These kids work all day for less than $1. A single Crunch bar needs hundreds of liters of water to produce when you count farming, processing, and manufacturing. We're wasting water on fake chocolate while the world faces water shortages. Testing found Nestle products contain several times the lead levels California considers safe. Their manufacturing adds dozens of chemical compounds that don't exist in natural chocolate. You're not eating food, you're eating a chemistry experiment. The crisped rice in Nestle Crunch goes through a process called gun puffing, where rice is shot from a cannon at extreme pressure. This destroys most of the natural nutrients in the rice. Then they spray it with synthetic vitamins and call it fortified. It's like destroying a house, then putting a welcome mat on the rubble. Nestle has been caught repeatedly claiming their chocolate is sustainably sourced, while investigations found child labor, deforestation, and slavery in their supply chain. They spend far more on sustainability marketing than on actual improvements. That's multiple times more on lying about being ethical than actually being ethical. Number 4, Milky Way, Mars Corporation's money machine. The bar is mostly sugar and corn syrup, with chocolate making up less than 1/5 of the product. The rest is whipped nougat, which is basically sugar foam held together with egg whites and gelatin. Mars uses millions of pounds of corn syrup daily just for Milky Way. That's nearly 1 billion pounds yearly of pure glucose entering American bloodstreams. The caramel layer gets heated to extreme temperatures, creating cancer-causing compounds that wouldn't exist in natural candy. Each Milky Way bar spikes your blood sugar to dangerous levels within minutes. The glycemic index is worse than white bread. You'd literally be better off eating sugar straight from the bowl. The company spends hundreds of millions yearly marketing to young kids, using cartoon characters and sponsoring thousands of youth events. They've calculated that hooking a customer before age 8 creates decades of brand loyalty. It's the same tactics tobacco companies used. The nougat in Milky Way contains over a dozen emulsifiers to maintain that fluffy texture. These chemicals interfere with gut bacteria, killing off beneficial microbes while feeding harmful ones. Studies show people who eat emulsifier-heavy foods have way more digestive problems and higher inflammation. Mars claims Milky Way is lighter than other candy bars, but that's only because it's whipped full of air. Gram for gram, it contains more sugar than Snickers, more calories than most cookies, and more artificial ingredients than any traditional candy. The lightness is literal, not nutritional. It's marketing magic, not health. Number 5, Butterfinger. Now owned by Ferrero after Nestle, sold it for billions. The orange center needs over a dozen synthetic compounds to create that flaky texture, including chemicals that don't exist anywhere in nature. Dental insurance claims jumped dramatically the week after Halloween, with Butterfinger frequently blamed for cavities. The candy creates hundreds of tiny cracks per bite that trap sugar against teeth for hours. Dentists pull out thousands of Butterfinger pieces from teeth every year. The new recipe Ferrero bragged about? They cut artificial ingredients but still left over a dozen fake compounds in your candy. The tertiary butyl hydroquinone stays at nearly toxic levels. They're literally riding the line of legal poisoning. Quality control reports show many Butterfingers have metal shavings from worn machinery. That's millions of contaminated bars yearly that pass inspection because the metal pieces are small enough to be considered unavoidable defects. The peanut butter in Butterfinger isn't really peanut butter at all. It's peanut flour mixed with multiple oils and solidifiers, heated to extreme temperatures until it forms those signature layers. Real peanut butter would never behave this way. They've created a peanut-flavored plastic that shatters like glass and sticks to your teeth like cement. Butterfinger's orange color comes from artificial dyes linked to hyperactivity in children. Europe requires warning labels on products with these dyes. America lets them color our candy without any warnings. A single Butterfinger contains enough artificial dye to trigger behavioral changes in sensitive children. Number 6. Three Musketeers. The bar that's mostly air but still packs hundreds of calories. Mars whips huge amounts of air into every pound of nougat, creating what experts call caloric deception. You think you're eating something light while consuming pure sugar? Making this requires heating corn syrup to extreme temperatures, then cooling it repeatedly for texture. Each heating cycle creates acrylamide, a known cancer causer. The final product has dangerous levels of acrylamide, just under what triggers cancer warnings in California. Three Musketeers makes hundreds of millions yearly, despite using way less cocoa than regular chocolate bars. The profit margin is double that of bars with actual chocolate. They've learned Americans will pay premium prices for whipped sugar and brown coating. Lab tests found the chocolate shell is paper thin and contains barely any actual cocoa. The rest is sugar, palm oil, and artificial chocolate flavor made from wood pulp. The original Three Musketeers had 3 pieces with different flavors in one package. When rationing hit during World War II, they kept only chocolate, but kept the Three Musketeers name. They've been lying for decades. Even the name is false advertising. The fluffy texture that seems so light actually makes you eat more. Studies show people eat almost half more Three Musketeers by weight than denser chocolate bars because the air tricks your brain into thinking it's less filling. You end up consuming more calories while feeling less satisfied. It's engineered overeating. Number 7. Kit Kat. The Nestle product that contains recycled Kit Kat waste in its filling. They grind up millions of pounds of rejected bars yearly and use them as ingredients in new bars. It's candy. Eating itself. Marketed as crispy wafers. Each Kit Kat finger has multiple wafer layers held together with sugar paste layers. The wafers are mostly palm oil, from plantations that destroyed millions of hectares of rainforest. Every Kit Kat represents destroyed jungle. The American version has way more sugar and way less cocoa than Japanese Kit Kats. We're getting ripped off because they know Americans will accept garbage. Testing shows Kit Kat wrappers leak chemicals into the chocolate. These hormone disruptors build up in fat tissue and have been linked to health problems in major studies. The wrapper is poisoning the candy, and the candy was already poison. Kit Kat spends millions yearly on their Have a Break campaign, programming people to associate their candy with relaxation and reward. But eating a Kit Kat spikes cortisol, your stress hormone, due to the sugar rush. You're not taking a break, you're stressing your body. The tagline should be, have a blood sugar crisis, have a Kit Kat. The Kit Kat manufacturing process generates tons of waste for every ton of product. That waste gets turned into animal feed, meaning the chemicals and sugars that aren't fit for human candy end up in the food chain anyway. Farm animals eat Kit Kat waste. Then we eat those animals. The candy contamination comes full circle. Here's what ties all 7 brands together. Combined, they control most of the American chocolate market. They spend billions on marketing, but just millions on quality control. That's dozens of times more money convincing you to buy than making sure products are safe. These companies work together to keep cocoa requirements at 10% in America, while Europe demands 3 times that amount. They've spent millions pressuring lawmakers to prevent stricter rules on heavy metals, child labor disclosure, and ingredient transparency. Independent testing across all 7 brands found dangerous levels of lead and cadmium. A child eating these chocolates weekly builds up enough heavy metals to cause learning problems, behavior issues, and organ damage over time. The environmental impact is staggering. These brands use billions of gallons of water yearly, destroy hundreds of thousands of acres of rainforest for palm oil, and generate millions of tons of plastic waste. Every bite funds environmental destruction on a massive scale. The health costs are even worse. Americans spend billions yearly treating diabetes linked to excessive sugar consumption. Dental work from candy damage costs billions more. Lost productivity from sugar crashes and related health issues tops tens of billions. We're paying 3 times, once for the candy, once for the health damage, and once for the environmental cleanup. So what can we do? First, understand that real chocolate exists. Dark chocolate with high cacao content, made by companies that care about quality, without petroleum derivatives or heavy metals. It costs more because real ingredients cost more than chemicals. Look for chocolate that lists cocoa or cacao first, not sugar. Avoid anything with polyglycerol polyricinolate, tertiary butyl hydroquinone, or artificial flavors. If you can't pronounce it, your body probably can't process it properly. Choose brands that test for heavy metals and share their results. Transparency matters. Better yet, try raw cacao or minimally processed dark chocolate. Yes, it tastes different from the sugar bombs you're used to. That's because it's actual food, not an engineered addiction machine. Your taste buds can be retrained in just weeks. You can break free from the sugar and chemical trap these companies created. Think about what we're teaching kids. Every time we reward them with a Hershey's bar or celebrate with Reese's cups, we're training their brains to connect these toxic products with happiness. We're creating future customers for companies that knowingly sell contaminated products. The European Union has real chocolate standards. Switzerland, Belgium, and France protect their chocolate heritage with strict rules. In America, we let corporations write the regulations, and they've decided brown sugar bars are good enough. We deserve better. These 7 brands make billions yearly selling fake chocolate loaded with chemicals, heavy metals, and misery. Every dollar spent funds more deforestation, more child labor, more chemical processing for maximum profit. The change starts when we stop accepting this garbage, when we demand real chocolate instead of brown candy. When we teach our children that real food doesn't need artificial flavoring, that real chocolate doesn't taste like vomit, that real treats don't need petroleum. Remember, every purchase is a vote. Every time you buy these products, you're telling these companies their standards are acceptable. Every time you choose real chocolate instead, you're demanding better. The market responds to consumer choices, but only if we make different ones. Until then, stay informed, read labels, and protect your family's health. Because every Hershey's Kiss, every Reese's Cup, every Kit Kat is a small victory for corporations that forgot food should nourish, not just profit. Real chocolate doesn't need polyglycerol polyricinolate. Real chocolate doesn't have lead and cadmium. Real chocolate doesn't taste like butyric acid. Real chocolate is medicine, not poison. Everything else is just brown-colored profit pretending to be candy. And we deserve better than pretense.